Hey guys, it's Friday night here in the Philippines and it's time for us to do our free-for-all weekend video. And as promised, we are doing a crash course in chassis and body swapping M2 machine square bodies. I've had a couple people request to just see how it's done, and then I've had a few people ask me, like, where did I get all these variants of the different wheels from? Well, they're not factory, they're custom body swaps. So just here to show you guys how it's done, how easy it is, and how universal like all the M2 parts are. And also, if you do get like a square body or a pickup truck that looks like it has like a flaw with the bed or something, how it's mounted, it may be fixable. So maybe it'll kind of persuade you guys to buy some trucks that you may have seen in the store that looked like they were damaged, but really it was just bad quality control with the assembly. So, anyways, with this being said, as I pointed out on Monday in the Hitch and Tow video, the black and white Miho Silverado C10 is my favorite one. Here in the Philippines, we don't get any of the square body syndicate stuff, unfortunately. There's no O'Reilly's, no Walmarts here, so we don't get any of those exclusives. So I solely depend on hobby exclusives and Miho exclusives. And sometimes, like some of the good people in America that have family here will send some stuff here to sell. So occasionally I'll get some Walmart issued stuff, but nothing with the square bodies yet. So anyways, I bought a few of the black and white ones because I like the conservative paint jobs. I'm not big into these like sponsored vehicles that have no purpose to be sponsored. It's not a race car, it's just a show truck. So unless these people are paying me to put their name on my vehicle, I'm not going to do that. So I like the conservative look, or graphics, or flames, that type of thing is pretty cool. I don't really hate these trucks with the names and stuff on them. I'm just not a big fan of them. But because I'm limited on what I can get, I pretty much buy all these square bodies that come here. So, like they say, beggars cannot be choosers. So, anyways, whenever I had the opportunity to buy the first Miho releases, the black and white, and then the Edelbrock, I bought multiples of each one because I kind of envisioned in my mind that I would like to chassis swap and body swap and things like that. And same thing with the Coca-Cola hobby exclusive one you see over here, the yellow and white one. These three were released around the same time, so I ordered multiples of each one. At least 3 of each, but the black and white one I think I ordered 4 or 5 of. We got 4 of them here. I may have a 5th one put away somewhere, I'm not sure. But anyways, I bought these, as I said, with the picture in my head that I would have numerous wheel variants of the black and white. The one that I thought was really cool was the yellow and white Coke because it looks stock with a drop kit. The wheels and tires on it look really cool. They're factory like C10 rally wheels, and the tires are narrow like stock tires. They kind of had the same like stock sidewall appearance like you would have seen on a stock 79 Chevy Scottsdale. So I thought that was really cool, but and once again, not a big fan of that Coke decal on the door. The yellow and white two-tone looks great, but the Coca-Cola decals, not so great, but it's tolerable. So what I thought of doing, though, was, hey, this chassis or these wheels and tires would look great on the black and white one. But the black and white one comes with a cool set of wheels and tires, too, which are like Pro Street, Pro Touring split 5-spokes, as you can see. And as you can see how wide these ones are in the back. So you would think that these are 2 different chassis and such, and they may not screw on the same way, but that's not true. What they do is they make a chassis with a universal like platform, but they do have different rear inserts to use stock style wheels and tires, and then ones to have wide Pro Street type tires. You may have heard me like say in some of my videos, hey, this one's got a wide insert, so it's got stock wheels and tires, and this one has a narrow insert, so it's got wide tires. I think all M2 castings were designed this way. There may be a couple that are just one chassis and that's it, but most of them have this insert. And the insert I'm talking about, let me give you a close-up look. So here's the black and white one with the Coca-Cola chassis on it. And I'm going to go over how to swap the chassis. I'm just showing you guys some of the ones that are already done before we get into it. So this is what I had envisioned in my mind. It turned out perfect. It's very nice, conservative, stock-looking black and white C10 with a red interior, the stock C10 rallies with narrow tires with like the stock style sidewalls, and everything looks great. It looks like something that I would have seen in the 90s, like with the Beltec drop kit on a stock like 70s or 80s C10. So it looks fantastic. Then the Coke one, it also looks great with the split 5-spokes, but, oh yeah, the chassis here. That's the part I wanted to show you guys. See how this has like a wide insert. This is the all-metal chassis, and back here is the insert. As you can see right here with the provisions where this insert goes. This is plastic, and anyways, they make this wide one for stock, and then they make this narrow one for, well, tubbed, Pro Street, Pro Touring type of look, so you can get the big slicks on it. But as you can see, it's the same chassis pretty much. The only thing is this plastic insert's different. All of the other details are the same. The way it bolts up or screws down, however you have to say it. There's 3 screws, one in the front, one in the back, one in the middle. And actually the middle one I think is only here. It helps stabilize the bed from flexing and like going side to side. But I think the rear screw and the front screw would have been good enough, and the bed has like little tabs that slide into the cab to kind of lock them together. So the middle screw is here because of the bedless variants that we have. As you can see, you have nothing mounting the cab down except for, well, that little ear that sticks out, and there's a screw there. So I think that's why the center screw exists. And all the chassis are the same, even on the step side. The only chassis that's different is on these bedless trucks. This has like a very detailed frame, as I pointed out in my unboxing video of this one. Very nicely done, detailed chassis. But the screw holes and everything line up exactly the same. So everything is universal. You can even take the cab off of any of these trucks and put on this chassis. And you could take a bed and put on this cab and find orange paint and paint match it, or primer a bed, whatever you want to do. You could even make a custom like stake bed or something and put on this truck. But the problem is you would need the other chassis from like the fleetsides or stepsides, because you need something to help mount the bed down, unless you want to totally lock it in with the cab, which I think would be really cool because this chassis on this one is like really nicely detailed. So I think that would look really cool if you could kind of integrate this chassis, which you can. As I said before, the beds kind of interlock with the cab, and I'll show you that here in a minute. So I showed you the Coke one with the Silverado, and then I also had another vision in my mind how good these Edelbrock American like 5-spoke wheels would look on that black and white truck. Edelbrock one looks great. Edelbrock name is very popular in the hot rodding industry, but once again, I would have just liked the red and silver two-tone would have looked spectacular, but still yet cool with the Edelbrock name. But as I said, these wheels would look great on the black and white one, which you guys seen that in the hitch and tow video, and that is this truck here with the Edelbrock base on it. And the Edelbrock base is the same as the C10 base with the wide insert, or I mean narrow insert, sorry guys. And the Edelbrock looks great with the split 5 spokes too. So, not bad on both of them actually. So this is how simple it is. There's just, you take the 3 screws out, flip over, or flip the chassis, change them out, and voila, you're done. The next one I did was another black and white one. And this one I'm not sure I'm so happy with because I'm not big on black wheels. But they do look cool, especially like on the yellow and black Moon Eyes. It kind of looks like the truck is floating there without wheels and tires because they kind of blend in really good with like the black on the truck, and it just looks like there's no wheels and tires there at all. The wheels are actually really cool, like 5-slot style, almost like the Weld Rod Light style wheels. They look really good if they were in chrome or gold. I have the Super Chase of this truck, which you guys have seen in other videos, and they look dynamite in the gold plating because you can see all the details of the wheels, but this is really hard to see because of the glare of the package and then the wheels being black. You can't really see many of the details. So anyways, I thought it would look good for the Moon Eyes to have chrome wheels. So that's actually one swap that benefited the Moon Eyes more than the black and white truck. As you can see, it does look really good with these split chrome 5 spokes. I do like it much more with these wheels on it, but that's my own personal perspective. I'm just not a black wheel type person, but painted wheels I do like. Just sometimes black is just too much. Black and chrome looks really cool if they have black centers with a chrome lip or trim ring, looks excellent. But all black sometimes is very difficult to see. But on this, it turned out great. It looks great on the Moon Eyes. And the black wheels look cool in the black and white truck too. And maybe you guys can get a little bit better look at the details of the wheels. Yeah, you can kind of see what I mean. It's like a 5-slot type of wheel. And it looks pretty good. Except you can't see any of the details. Actually, you know what, guys? The Holley EFI truck has the same wheels, but they're in gold, like a gold paint. See, you can see the details. Very cool looking wheel, but when they're painted black, it's very, very hard to see all the details. But when they're painted another color, as like this gold or bronze color, looks pretty good. I do dig the wheels. It's just all black. They're hard to see. So these are the chassis swaps I've done so far. And as I said, they're very simple to do. Everything's the same. Even the chassis on the step side is the same. And these 3 guys here, I'm going to show you how easy it is. I took the screws out of these trucks already to kind of cut down on a little bit of time. But still, you can get the idea how easy it is to piece them together. So, let's take a look at the step side first, since I had just mentioned this. And as you can see, the chassis are the same. No difference in fleet side or step side. That's why if you notice, like there's a missing floor pieces here on the chassis of the M2 fleet side, even if it is like the wide insert, still yet that floor is gone. That is for the step side variant to be able to accommodate the extra piece of the bed that dips in. So they kind of took everything into account when designing this chassis, where it would be usable across the board. They would not have to change anything. So step side, fleet side, narrowed, stock, whatever it is, all the same except for that little plastic insert. Now, where there's a difference in chassis is, as I said, when it comes to the bedless truck. That's a totally different frame, and I'm not even sure if you could put a bed on that. I've never tried yet, to be honest with you. So we'll take a look at that once we take these apart. So let's go ahead and get some of these apart. So, as I said, the screws are out, so body lifts right off this chassis. And this chassis is awesome. They did a great job. The frame is actually metal. The exhaust and gas tanks are plastic, but this is actually die-cast, the frame rails. It looks like a 2x3 square tube frame that you would see on like a pro street car or street rod or something. Looks like it has like Mustang 2 front end, narrowed 9-inch Ford or something like that. Then it has the polished gas tanks, and this is definitely a pro street look with the little narrow front runner style tires with the chrome 5-spokes. The deep dish 5-spokes in the back these are non-treaded, so like racing slicks. Very cool, has nice polished exhaust. Beautiful detail on this chassis, and it would look great on anything. I'm just a fan of the ones with the bed. I'm not a big fan of the bedless trucks, but they still look cool, and I will buy other variants when they become available here. It's just that I prefer the bed, but the bedless is cool. So, the step side. Let's go ahead and take him apart. And as I said, I took the screws out. Sometimes the center screws can be a little hard to get out because of the fact that, as you can see, it's exposed when they paint these trucks body. So it's a little bit more vulnerable to getting paint into the threads. Unlike these are not, but this one is the tab. So I think that's why sometimes you may have a hard time getting the screws out of these. So anyways, out comes the chassis. And as I said, you have two little ears that hold your bed into the cab, but they easily slide down and then out. As you can see, these U slots and then like L-shaped little mounting brackets that kind of interlock things together. You kind of slide the bed over the tab, then you line up those and then push up, and voila, it's all locked together. That's why I said you probably could get away without having that center screw. The bed may flex a little bit, but you still have that rear and front screw that kind of locks everything together. But sometimes you may see, like in your boxes from M2, of trucks with beds that look like that or something, or the bed that's like way up, it looks like the frame rotted in two and broke the truck in half. Sometimes it's not totally screwed. You can probably fix that. That's why I was wanting to show you guys this too, how they put these together. It's not like a one-piece body, so it's not like the body's bent out of shape. Even if the tabs happen to be bent, you probably can bend them back in place. So the trucks may be fixable. The one things that are not so fixable is the opening doors. Like if they don't close good, then usually you're pretty much screwed with that, because usually it's in the casting itself of either the door or the body was miscasted or something. Sometimes the hinges are just bent and you could take the door off and work with that little like elbow looking hinge and bend it a little bit and it may fix it. But the trucks, I think, are fixable. So if you see a square body or Ford that you like and you're worried about it, the bed, that's probably going to be fixable. Now that's on the square bodies and like the 70s Ford truck. I'm not sure how the 50s Ford trucks go together. They could be a one-piece body. But the Ford like F100s from the 70s and late 60s and then the square bodies, you're pretty safe on. You may be able to fix them. So let's go ahead and take the bed off that. Then, as I said, this is already taken apart too. The screws are out of it, so let's pop the chassis off of him. And then you got that. So, very easy to take apart. As I said, you may have some issues with the center screw, but I've never come across one that I could not get out or get back in. So, this is basically the disassembling of these vehicles. So, let's take the step-side chassis, just to show you guys, but you can see that they're identical, especially since they're off. That's exactly the same thing. Step-side or fleet-side, same chassis. But let's put the step-side chassis on the fleet-side truck. And I'm not going to run the screws back in or anything like that. It just takes too much time. And anyway, so you could see all the holes line up with each other. Nothing different. Looks good with these chrome 5-spokes with the yellow lettered Goodyears. Pretty cool look. So there you go. Stepside chassis on a fleetside truck. Then, as I said, you could take this cab and get another body, or not body, but another bed, and paint it orange, primer it, whatever, or just make it look like a thrown together like shop truck. And you can do that. And here is the stepside bed connected to the orange Miho cab of the bedless chassis. So, and as I said, we are going to take a look and see, and I guess you probably could do that. It's just going to hit the gas tanks. You would have to customize the gas tank area to clear the bed. So that's the only downside. You could use this chassis most likely, but you may have to do some customization on the exhaust, and you would have to remove the gas tanks or move them forward. So you can't use this chassis with a bed without modification. But you can take this cab and put a bed on it and put the bed chassis on this with no problem at all. As you can see, it looks like some thrown together like junkyard truck. Now, with the orange cab, blue stepside bed, and the chassis, all the holes line up, as you can see. So, yeah, you could do that to make your own look. And if that doesn't show you guys how universal everything is, nothing will. Because you have the cab from a bedless model, you have the stepside bed, and you have a fleetside chassis all together into one truck. So it's something that shows you how universal these parts are. The only thing that is not universal is this chassis. It can only be used with a cab, but you can use any cab, as I said, like this Goodyear cab. This is from the stepside truck. So here you go. There is the cab, and it lines up perfectly. There's your tab hole and then your front hole, and everything clears fine. So there you go. Goodyear bedless truck. So, as I said, this kind of shows you guys how universal everything is with these M2 square bodies. And as I said, your expectations of like fixing these can be met. Like, you don't have to be discouraged. You find a square body at Walmart, but it looks like the bed's ready to fall off. It's probably going to be fixable. Now, as I said, I have a Autoworld Square Body that I did a wheel swap on with Greenlight wheels and tires from the Kill Bill Charger. And this is the Charger that I'm talking about, but I put Mopar Rallies on it, so it looks much better than with these truck wheels and tires. I have no idea why they put these wheels and tires on this car, because even the wheels and tires, the tires are very wide, very tall looking, way too big for a 71 Charger. Excuse me, guys. I've been talking too much, so a little choked up here. So, anyways, they look much better on the Autoworld truck. And there's the stock wheels that came off the Autoworld. All I do is I will take a flat blade screwdriver and put in here and kind of work it side to side like this, kind of prying up on it, and go from one side of the wheel to the other to not bend the axle. A lot of times that works, but sometimes you still will break like the female nipple on the back of the wheel. It will crack some, but sometimes not that bad. You could still push this back on the barb end and it will stay with no problem. If it keeps falling off, then super glue is always a good fix. And I use the Autoworld axles with the Greenlight wheels, and it worked perfectly fine. The rear one I had to glue because of the fact that it's a little bit narrower, and the axle's a little bit narrower, and it doesn't go in the wheels too far because these are a lot wider. So I had to glue it so they didn't keep like pushing off of the axle. And you could see on this one, like, the front axle is, like, very, like, long. It's a little bit too long, but the rear axle is a little bit short. And when you get those bigger tires, it doesn't give you much play. So that's why I had to super glue these onto the axle. But most of the time they would push on. But the Autoworld axles will work with the Greenlight wheels, at least with these truck-style wheels. So if your Greenlight wheel and tire kit does not offer long enough axles or axles that you need, you can use your stock Autoworld axles if you are wheel swapping these square bodies. So that's the only Autoworld that I've done like wheel swaps on. And then the M2 trucks, I'm always screwing around with these, trying different things and stuff. So yeah, this is like nothing new for me, but it's very easy to do. You guys can like constantly change the looks of your trucks and stuff. It's very easy, and you don't really have to worry about breaking anything. As I said, the only problem I face sometimes is that center screw, and that's it. So that's it, guys. This wraps it up, and I hope this helped give you some tips and just get a look at how easy this really is to do. So if you have not subscribed yet, please remember to do so. Please give me a thumbs up. Please share the video. Thanks for watching, and I will be back with you guys on Monday. And on Monday, we're going to be doing another Greenlight Movie Monday. So it will be all Greenlight movie-themed cars and actually RVs too. So we will be doing that on Monday. So make sure you tune back in for that. Enjoy your weekend, guys, and I will see you Monday. Thanks for watching.